Imagine boarding a flight, full of excitement for your journey, only to have it all come crashing down because of someone else's prejudice. That's exactly what happened to a young black woman when her ticket was shockingly destroyed by a flight attendant in front of everyone. Was it a mistake, or was there something deeper going on? The humiliation was unbearable, and the silence from others only made it worse. But just when it seemed like justice might never come, the story took an unexpected twist. Word of the incident reached the airline's CEO, and his bold response turned everything upside down. What happened next not only surprised the passengers, but sent a message far beyond that single flight. Stick around to find out how one act of courage from the top changed everything for the better. The young woman, Kayla, was a college student heading to a long-awaited internship that could change her life. She'd worked hard for the opportunity, saving every dollar to make it happen. But as she approached the boarding gate, everything took a strange turn. The flight attendant scanned her ticket, frowned, and without explanation, tore it in half. Kayla froze, confused and embarrassed as other passengers stared. She asked what was wrong, but the attendant coldly dismissed her, claiming her ticket was invalid and telling her to step aside. Kayla tried to explain, showing her confirmation email, but it didn't seem to matter. Frustration grew as she realized she was being singled out, but why? No one stepped in to help, and Kayla felt completely alone. Little did she know, someone quietly recorded the incident, setting off a chain of events that would soon reach the CEO's desk. Kayla sat in the corner of the terminal, holding the torn pieces of her ticket in her hands. Her heart raced as she replayed the moment over and over, trying to understand what had gone wrong. Nearby, passengers whispered, some pretending not to notice while others stared. One older woman shook her head but said nothing, while a businessman in a suit seemed more annoyed by the delay than concerned about what had just happened. Unbeknownst to Kayla, a man sitting across the gate area had been filming the entire encounter. He, too, was confused by what he saw. The ticket looked fine to him, and Kayla's calm demeanor didn't fit the reaction she received. He decided to upload the video online with a caption, "This doesn't feel right." Within hours, it started gaining attention. People questioned whether the flight attendant's actions were justified or something more sinister. Meanwhile, Kayla sat waiting, unsure if she'd ever make it to her destination, or even get an explanation. As Kayla sat there, fighting back tears, the airline staff continued boarding other passengers as if nothing had happened. She tried one last time to speak to the flight attendant, hoping for some clarity, but was met with a dismissive wave. "You'll have to take this up with customer service," the woman said, her tone icy. Kayla felt helpless, watching the gate close without her on the flight. Meanwhile, the video of the incident was spreading rapidly online. People were outraged, calling for accountability and demanding answers from the airline. The hashtag Justice for Kayla started trending, with countless comments questioning how a paying customer could be treated so unfairly. Back at the airline's headquarters, the CEO was alerted to the growing controversy. He watched the video in disbelief, his face hardening with every second. "Get me everyone involved," he ordered. Little did Kayla know, this moment was about to take a dramatic turn. As the CEO's team scrambled to investigate, the situation became even more complicated. While reviewing the passenger list and flight records, they found something odd. Kayla's ticket was fully valid, with no issues. But then, an email from a whistleblower within the airline landed in the CEO's inbox. It revealed that the flight attendant in question had a history of complaints, many involving discriminatory behavior. Each time, the cases had been quietly dismissed. This wasn't just a one-off incident, it was part of a bigger problem. Meanwhile, Kayla sat stranded, debating whether to try booking another ticket or just give up entirely. Her phone buzzed non-stop with notifications as people began tagging her in posts about the viral video. She was shocked to see the overwhelming support, but worried about what this exposure could mean. Just then, a well-dressed man approached her. "Kayla," he asked, I'm here on behalf of the CEO. He'd like to speak with you personally. Kayla followed the man nervously, unsure of what to expect. He led her to a private lounge where the airline's CEO was waiting. As soon as she walked in, he stood, offering a handshake and an apology. "I've seen the video, Kayla, and I want you to know this behavior is completely unacceptable," he said firmly. "You didn't deserve any of this." He assured her that an investigation was underway and that steps would be taken to hold the flight attendant accountable. The CEO then handed Kayla a new first-class ticket on the next flight, along with a personal letter of apology. While the gesture was kind, Kayla still felt uneasy, wondering if this was just damage control for the company's image. But just as she began to leave, the CEO dropped another bombshell. "By the way, Kayla," he said, smiling, "that internship you were flying to, our team has already reached out to them. They've agreed to hold your spot, and I'd like to personally mentor you as part of the program." Kayla was stunned. What started as a humiliating experience had turned into an opportunity she never expected. But as she boarded her flight, the final twist came. The whistleblower's email was leaked online, exposing a pattern of discrimination within the airline, and the public demanded sweeping reforms. Kayla's story became the catalyst for change, proving that one voice could spark a much larger movement. As Kayla settled into her seat on the new flight, she finally allowed herself to breathe. The kindness of strangers online and the CEO's personal intervention had turned her worst day into something unexpectedly empowering. Though the scars of the experience would take time to heal, Kayla felt a renewed sense of purpose. She wasn't just flying toward her internship, she was stepping into a new chapter where her voice mattered. Back at the airline, the leaked email sent shockwaves through the company. Policies were overhauled, and mandatory training was implemented to ensure no passenger would face such treatment again. The flight attendant was terminated, and the airline publicly pledged to do better. Kayla's story became a symbol of resilience and the power of standing up for what's right. As her flight took off, she gazed out the window, feeling hopeful. Sometimes, the hardest moments lead to the greatest change.